You have the skill to win, but your body gives out first. It is the final stretch, everyone else bent over and sucking air, and they are still flying like it just started. You train, you put in the work, so it stings to fade while someone else still has another gear. The easy story is that they were born with a better engine, but that is rarely true. They have learned to spend their energy and get it back in ways you have not, and you can copy most of it. It runs on 3 engines, and the third is the one almost everyone gets wrong. Keep it in mind. First is the lactic system, raw instant power, and it carries the first 5 to 10 seconds of any maximum effort. The sprint to a loose ball, the leap for a rebound, one short, violent burst. It is the most powerful engine you own, and it drains the fastest. You train it by going short, going all out, then resting like you mean it. 40-meter sprint repeats at full speed, with 2 to 3 minutes of rest between each. Explosive jump sets follow the same rule. That long rest is doing real work, even though it feels like slacking. Cut it short, and you stop building power and start piling up sloppy reps. Full recovery is what trains your body to fire at 100% on demand. This is the engine behind a vertical jump, a first step, and a knockout shot, and it rewards quality over quantity. Now imagine the effort does not stop after a few seconds. You are chasing a fast break that keeps going, or grinding a shift that never ends. That is the second engine, the lactic system, covering roughly 30 seconds out to 2 minutes. It floods your legs with that deep burn, and learning to keep going while it screams at you is the whole skill. You build it with hard intervals and short rest, and the short rest is the point. The classics are 400-meter repeats, 30-30 intervals where you go hard for 30 seconds and jog for 30, and the Tabata protocol, 20 seconds flat out, then 10 seconds rest, repeated 8 times for a brutal 4 minutes. Tabata looks like a joke written down. Do it once, and you will respect those 4 minutes forever. Over time, your body gets better at buffering that burn and clearing it between efforts, so a burst that wrecks you now becomes something you can work straight through. Start with a few rounds and build up as it stops owning you. The third engine is the aerobic system, the one I told you to keep in mind. This is your foundation. Slow to wake up, but it runs for hours, and it matters more than people realize for one reason. It recharges the other two between efforts. The bigger your aerobic base, the quicker you recover, which means another explosive burst sooner, and another after that deep into the game when everyone's cooked. Of these 3 engines, which do you think is your weak spot? Drop it in the comments, and if you like our content, don't forget to give us a hype. It means a lot to us. Back to the aerobic system, you grow it with long, steady, almost boring work. Long, slow distance running, tempo runs, continuous cycling, swimming, rowing, take your pick. The number to lock in is Zone 2, an easy pace where you could still hold a conversation without gasping. For 45 to 60 minutes. It feels far too easy, which makes people skip it. Skipping it costs them the 4th quarter. You are growing the size of your tank, what lets a pro keep going when you have nothing left. 3 or 4 easy sessions a week does more for your stamina than another brutal workout ever could, because the fitter this engine gets, the less every hard effort costs you. On to that hidden leak I promised, because it has nothing to do with fitness. It is your posture. Watch anyone who is exhausted, and the first thing to break down is the upper body. The shoulders round forward, the chest folds in, the head hangs. The moment you collapse into that shape, your lungs cannot open the way they are designed to. You have shrunk your own breathing capacity at the worst possible time. Less air in means less oxygen to your muscles, which makes you tire faster, which drops you deeper into the hunch. It snowballs. Try this right now while you sit there. Slouch all the way down, round your shoulders, and take a deep breath. Notice how little air you can pull in. Now sit up tall, shoulders back, chest open, and breathe again. That second breath is the difference you leave on the table every time you fold over late in a game. There is a second cost, too. When your posture falls apart, your body compensates. Smaller muscles get dragged in to hold you upright, burning extra fuel doing a job they were never built for. You end up driving with the handbrake half on, wondering why the tank empties so fast. The fix is mostly attention. Stay long through your spine, keep the chest open, and let the shoulders sit back even when everything wants to fold over. Then, tie your breathing to your movement instead of letting it scatter. The row in rowers rhymes with toe. Runners match it to a stride. Once your breathing has a rhythm, it stops wasting energy and frees up fuel that was going nowhere. One simple trick is to breathe out hard on every big effort, the punch, the jump, the stride, and let the air refill on its own. On to pacing, where the gap between a good athlete and a great one opens up. A lower-level player runs at one speed and prays the fitness holds. The pros do the opposite. They ration their output across the whole game, spending big only where it counts and stealing rest anywhere the sport allows. It looks different in every sport, so here are a few to steal from. Tennis hands you recovery if you know to take it. You get up to 25 seconds between points, and good players treat each one as a recovery tool. They slow the walk to the baseline, fix their breathing, and pull their heart rate down before the next point. 25 seconds, repeated 100 times in a match, is enormous built-in rest that club players waste by rushing back and stewing. Combat sports are sneakier. Study an experienced fighter and you will catch them tying up or clinching at deliberate moments. Sometimes it is to attack, but often it is purely to jam the action and force a pause. While they are locked up, the pace dies and they steal a breath, giving up nothing on the scorecards. They are manufacturing rest in the middle of a war. Soccer is a constant changing of gears. Watch an elite midfielder and you will notice they rarely sprint twice in a row for no reason. They unleash one sharp burst when the moment demands it, then sink into an easy jog while the ball is elsewhere. A lot of their saving is positional. They read the play early and drift into the right spot before they need it, sparing the recovery sprint that drains everyone who reacts late. Basketball runs on the same idea. The best players hand-pick their moments to attack the rim or fly in transition, and they use every natural gap, the free throws, the dead balls, the timeouts, to top back up. None of it is lazy. Every burst is chosen, and every slow moment is a recovery they are taking on purpose. The thread through all of it is the same. Your output is a limited resource, so spend it like one. Work out where your game is won and lost, and save your biggest efforts for those moments instead of bleeding energy across the whole match. And learn the rest your own sport hands you for free. The whistles, the substitutions, the breaks in play, then use those seconds to breathe instead of wasting them. None of this training means much if you fall apart the moment you leave the field, and amateurs treat it as optional. The pros treat it as half the work, sometimes more. It starts with fuel. Your engines run on what you eat, so turning up underfed is like rolling to the start line with the tank low. You want enough carbohydrate around your sessions to power them and enough protein afterward to rebuild what you tore down. Nothing fancy, just enough and consistent. Hydration sits next to it. Even slight dehydration drags your numbers down and makes everything feel twice as hard, so sip steadily all day instead of waiting until you're dry. If I could force you to fix one thing on this list, it would be sleep. It is the most underrated performance tool on Earth, and it is free. Sleep is when your body rebuilds and your nervous system wipes the slate clean. Cheat it, and you erase a chunk of what you earned in training. Most athletes need 7 to 9 hours, and guarding that window deserves the same respect as a hard session. On top of those, the pros lean on a few recovery tools worth stealing. Active recovery, just light movement like an easy bike spin on rest days, keeps the blood moving, clears out the junk from hard training, and gets you back quicker than flopping on the couch. A lot of them track HRV, heart rate variability, with a watch or a ring and read it as a morning readiness check. If the number says the body is still wrecked, they pull back that day instead of digging the hole deeper. Many wear compression gear between sessions. And the big one almost no amateur does, they plan deload weeks, where they cut the load right back so the body can soak up the work and rebound stronger. None of this needs gadgets. Eat enough, drink enough, sleep enough, and take your easy days easy, and you will out-recover most people who out-train you. The hard sessions tear you down. Recovery is when you come back built better, so write it into the plan instead of treating it as time off. Before you go, lock in 3 things that carry over to any sport. First, find which energy system your sport leans on most and train that one on purpose. A point guard and a marathoner should not run the same conditioning. Generic cardio beats sitting around, but matching your training to the real demands of your game is what moves the needle. Second, next time you start gassing out, check your body before you blame your lungs. A massive amount of that tiredness comes from collapsed posture and scattered breathing, not a missing engine. Get tall, open the chest, find a rhythm, and you often uncover a second wind that was there the whole time. Third, stop treating pacing as luck and start treating it as a skill you sharpen. Map your sport's energy demands without kidding yourself. Where do the real bursts happen? When do the natural lulls show up? Where are you burning energy you could bank instead? Build your effort around those answers instead of charging in and hoping. Remember that third engine I told you to keep in mind? That is the one. The slow, boring aerobic pace almost everyone skips is the difference between the athlete dying in the final minutes and the one still flying. Train it, fix your posture, pace like every drop of energy counts, and recover like the pros. And you stop being the one running on fumes. You become the one who looks like the game only just started. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your sport in the comments and tell me which of these you are fixing first. I read them. And I might make your sport the next breakdown.